host, Andrew Romanella.
When you play Battle in Mario Kart and you don't turn off any of the items, there are bananas everywhere. I mean, it's like you're losing your balloons because you're slipping on bananas left and right. Bananas everywhere. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another edition of The Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com, broadcast live on YouTube and X. I am your host, Andrew Romanella. I got you for the next 30 and change. We are joined at 7:10 today by Rocky Romanella. It is a Tuesday. That means hockey with Rocky, and we love that. A big Miami Dolphins victory last night against the Los Angeles Rams to keep their season alive. We will break that down. Like I said, hockey with Rocky. Plus, they released the MVP finalist for the National League and the American League in Major League Baseball. So we will have to get to that as well. Before we get into the Monday Night Football breakdown, I got to tell you this thought I just had during the intro. I got to tell you, this show clearly loves bananas, besides the fact that we love winning bananas, okay? As I'm listening to the intro, and I have the new Mario Kart sounder as well, I'm like, oh my God. Like, clearly, the favorite fruit of the Rome Show is bananas, because we got them on the intro, and we got them at the end of the show with both of those segments. So made me laugh. We might have to start introducing some new fruits on this show, maybe some watermelons, maybe some oranges. We'll see. We'll see how we feel. Nonetheless, we feel really good as Dolphins fans in this studio right now with a 23-15 victory last night on Monday Night Football. You got any thoughts on that? Hit me up on X or on Instagram, Facebook, whatever the social media is, The Rome Show 1. Or if you want to comment live on the show, 12OZ Sports, YouTube Live or X, and we can get you on the show with your comments. Nonetheless, we tell you all that because we want to hear your thoughts on the Dolphins-Rams last night or any of the sports that went on over the last few days. Here's your rundown. It was not a great offensive game in the first half last night. Both teams taking turns turning the football over. Both quarterbacks taking turns fumbling the football. Overall, the Rams fumbled the football 3 times in this game. Only lost one of them, but still lost the rock 3 times in this football game. Tua once, and he lost that fumble as well. So 4 total fumbles in this football game and 2 interceptions. So a lot of not controlling the football, especially early in this game. The Dolphins took a 10-6 lead into the half. And here's essentially what happened for the Miami Dolphins, at least in the first 37 minutes of this game, okay? Came out, first drive of the game, elite. Bink, bink, Tua looks great. Offense looks great. We're moving the football. Jalen Waddle has 55 receiving yards on that drive alone. Had 57 in the game. Had 55 on that drive alone. Offense looks great. Touchdown. Dolphins go up 7-0. Okay? The whole game, the defense was really good. Held Matthew Stafford to 32 of 46 for 293, 0 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Held the run game for the Los Angeles Rams to 70 total yards on 18 carries. So really good there for the Dolphins. Okay? And so I say all that to then say from the first drive till the first drive of the second half, there was no offense for the Miami Dolphins. And so the biggest thing for this team is their adjustability. That's really what it comes down to. Okay. And I think that's been the bugaboo for this team as long as Mike McDaniels has been the head coach. They come out, they look really good on set drives, on drives they've had time to put together. But when a defense smacks them in the face, what's our adjustment back? Right? And one thing that I loved about the Dolphins over the last few weeks is their commitment to running the rock. And they found a run game that is completely different than it's ever been before, where they're able to use multiple guys in the run game. Some of it's a little bit too cutesy, but the idea is to set up play action and allow it to open up your offense to be multifaceted. Last night, the Dolphins ran the rock 22 times, okay? They only ran it for 67 yards. They did have a rushing touchdown, but the 22 times is the important number for me. And then here's how it broke down. Devon Achane, 12 rushes, 37 yards. Malik Washington, 1 rush for 18 yards and a touchdown, but Malik Washington also added a reception for 17 yards. Nice little add-on there. Tyreek Hill, 2 rushes for 11 yards. Jaden Wright, 5 rushes for 3 yards. Tua Tagovailoa out of nature, and then Jalen Waddle, 1 for -1, which was kind of a backwards pass. So using the rush game differently, but it gives you the opportunity to open up the play action game. Then Tua was 20 of 28 for 207 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. The Dolphins played really good in this game, held the Rams to 5 field goals and 0 touchdowns. And when we talked about this game yesterday, we said it. We said that it's going to come down to what are the strengths of both teams, okay? And our assumption was the Rams were not going to let the Dolphins run the rock very effectively. They did that. Our other assumption was the Dolphins were not going to let Matthew Stafford do whatever he wanted with the football over the top, and they did that. Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua both were held down in this game. Puka Nacua, 9 for 98, no touchdowns. Cooper Kupp, 7 for 80, no touchdowns. I think when you sign up to play this game, if you keep the 2 of them to 16 receptions, 170 yards, and no touchdowns, if I said to you, hey, Puka and Cooper are going to go for 16, 175, and 0 touchdowns, you would say to me, cool. Because that would mean someone named Davis Allen, Tyler Johnson, Demarcus Robinson, they'd have to be the touchdown getters, or the running back Kyron Williams, which we shut the run game down. So that is a great job by the Fins. That's a great job coming in and winning a game you needed to. Now I'm going to pop up on the screen here for the people. Again, 12OZ Sports on YouTube and X, if you want to give us your thoughts on any of this. First, the AFC standings, since we saw the Fins last night. Now, we're in week 10, okay? So the wild card standings will start to become a thing here. I mean, they already are, but there's so much jumbled up going on here in the AFC that I really do feel like the wild card's going to mix 19 different times. So let's give you the standings for each division today. And as we get later on in this season, we will start to break down the wild card. All right, let's run through this. And Rocky joins us for Hockey with Rocky. He's usually on the back end here. We'll get his thoughts on the National Football League as well on Hockey with Rocky. You know, he loves to give us his opinion. The Giants are on a bye week this week, so maybe he'll have some fun watching football over the weekend. In the AFC East, the Bills have a stranglehold, as you can see. I mean, the Dolphins, ended a 5-game losing streak. So at the end of the day, the Bills, who are rolling right now, are probably going to win this division. That's at least the belief there. But the Dolphins did give themselves a chance. Of the 3 bad teams in the AFC East, the Dolphins, the last 2 weeks at least, have played the best and look the most complete. Only if Tua Tagovailoa is under center. The Jets and the Patriots, that's over. The Steelers, that is arguably the best division, at least in my opinion right now, in the AFC. The Steelers, the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Browns. The Browns have one of the best defenses in the league, even though they're 2-7. I don't think the Bengals have enough this year. I think it's going to be a 2-headed race between the Steelers and the Ravens, but it's going to come down to those games against the Bengals and the Browns. The Steelers 7-2, the Ravens 7-3. I read the stats yesterday about Russell Wilson. If you look at Russell Wilson and you look at Lamar Jackson over the last 2 years, almost identical statistics. Houston Texans, they lead the AFC South. 2 losses in their last 3, though, 2 in a row for the Texans. They sit at 6-4. Their next close competitor, the Colts, at 4-6. I don't think much is going to come of that. I think the Texans will run away with that, even though they aren't. And then finally, the Chiefs, they're 9-0. They're going to win this division. Will they go 16 or 17-0? That's the question everybody's going to have. And then I think the Chargers and the Broncos are going to fight to both win one of those wild card spots. Chargers playing really good, 1-3 straight, 6-3. In the Broncos, they have what they need, but I don't think they have enough for this season. But we'll see. Sean Payton sometimes always find a way. And then up on the screen now, we have the NFC standings, a two-headed monster fight in the NFC East between the Eagles and the Commanders. 7-2 Eagles, 7-3 Commanders. Eagles, though, are streaking right now, winning 3 straight. The Commanders lost a really tough one against the Steelers, 28-27 over the weekend. I would put my watermelons, there you go, on the Commanders winning this division. This is the feeling I have there. Detroit and Minnesota are fighting at the top of the NFC North, but don't forget about the Packers, okay? 6-3 Packers, 7-2 Vikings, 8-1 Detroit Lions. I'm going to give it to the Lions there, who are winners of 7 straight, by the way. They got it going on. If you can win a football game when your quarterback throws 5 interceptions, that's a really good thing for your team. And then in the NFC South, the battle of just beat each other up. The NFC South and the AFC South look identical right now, with the top team at 6-4 and the next team at 4-6, and then so on. I think the Bucs are trailing the wrong direction, losers of 4 straight. The Falcons are just 50-50, though. My guess is somehow, some way, one of the teams wins this division at 9-8, and the other team is like 8-9 or 8-1 or something stupid like that, and it comes down to week 17. And then finally, the Cardinals. Yeah, you heard that right. The Cardinals, winners of 4 straight, are leading the NFC West and took advantage of the slow start from the San Francisco 49ers. Those are your NFL standings right now, November 12th, 2024. This is the Rome Show, 12-Ounce Sports, broadcast live on YouTube and X. Okay, we've gone through the football. It's a Tuesday. That means it's time for Hockey with Rocky. Now, inside the glass, Hockey with Rocky.
What's up, everyone? And it's Inside the Glass. I'm Jeremy Roenick. I just got inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame class of 2024. What's up?
All right, Jeremy, what's up, man? How we doing on this Tuesday?
I'm doing great. I found out last night mid-game that Odell Beckham Jr. plays for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
That? Yeah,
when did that happen?
Catches last night.
When did it happen, though?
It happened over the offseason, but the thing that you have not noticed is he has not really played much this season because of injury, which I'm sure doesn't surprise you, right? It doesn't surprise you that he passed.
I didn't even know he was still in the league.
Yeah, 10th year for Odell Beckham Jr. And he played against his former team, which I don't know if everyone remembers him winning the Super Bowl with the Los Angeles Rams. So thoughts, I know you're on the back end there for the National Football League talk. We don't have to talk Giants here on this show, but I know you are a secondary Dolphins fan, and you were traveling on Sunday, so you had a little bit of time to look at the football. What are your thoughts right now in week 10, Rocky?
So I think, I just think the AFC is it's just incredible how bad it is.
It's like the Chiefs and then everybody else.
And you know, it's funny. I was talking about the big game this week in Western New York, huge game in Orchard Park, right? The Bills are playing the Chiefs. This is huge on any day of the week. It's massive. But it was funny. I was talking with a Bills fan yesterday, and the one thing that I was saying was this game means absolutely nothing.
Correct.
This game means zero. They should call each other. The Chiefs should call the Bills. They should call each other. They should be listen, we know this game means nothing. There's no reason for someone to get hurt. Let's just play our backups, and we'll see you guys in the AFC Championship game.
That's funny.
Because for the Bills, it doesn't matter. If the Bills win, it does
matter. I have to disagree with you wholeheartedly because
are you talking about home field advantage?
Yes, dude. Okay, absolutely.
Fine.
That
Fine home field
matters.
advantage.
Because if you have to go up to Buffalo for the
Doesn't matter.
AFC
Doesn't
Championship
matter for the
game
Bills.
in January,
For the Bills, it doesn't matter. It's just as cold in Kansas City, dude. It was like negative 35 degrees like a year ago.
what has happened the last few times the Bills have played the Chiefs in the playoffs?
They've never beat them.
Okay, so if you're the Bills, you would rather that happen at home. You cannot tell me that a game at 9-0 versus 8-2 for the top spot in the AFC doesn't matter. You can't tell me that. I don't want to hear it. I don't. That's
Win or
you
a
can
loss.
tell me that people win or loss.
It just doesn't change the fact for the Bills. All of that technical stuff, fine, but for the Bills, regardless of whether they beat them on Sunday or not, the Bills need to beat them in the postseason, which they have not done.
Right, but why would you say that a game wouldn't matter when if the chances to beat them in the postseason are probably greater at home in Orchard Park, where it might be cold everywhere, but it's not Buffalo in Kansas City from a fan standpoint.
Dude,
Imagine
what do you mean? They people got frostbite in Kansas City last year.
But I'm not talking about the cold right now. I'm talking about the fans. You don't want to play against the Kansas City fans on the road. You want your home fans in Buffalo, who quite possibly could be the best fan base in the National Football League.
I don't disagree with you. It doesn't listen. You have a greater risk of losing a key piece in this game than you do getting any sort of positivity for beating them in the postseason.
I love you to death, but that is one of the dumbest things you've ever said. You have they play San Francisco next week. Should they take that game off? Then they play the Rams. Should they take that game off?
No, you got to beat San Francisco.
And they take that game off. Then you play. So that's stupid.
The Dragon Josh Allen needs to slay. The Dragon Josh Allen needs to slay is not the Chiefs in the regular season.
Okay, of course not.
Chiefs in the postseason.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
But to say that the game doesn't matter in week 10 when they have a full schedule left, then you shouldn't play anyone the rest of the year and hope that your backups make the playoffs. Like that. That's a line that I'm not going to let you cross because I don't agree with that whatsoever. I agree. What's the one thing that the Bills need to do? They need to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. But that doesn't mean now they just throw away a week 10 game where they could have a chance to inch closer to home field advantage and say, screw it. We're not going to play this week. Go ahead, Chiefs. Go 10-0, take home field advantage, win another Super Bowl, and see you later. No, we can't do that. What? Wow.
I'm just saying. It's a different world. Chiefs looks like they're going to be
other thoughts in the National Football League.
Other thoughts in the National Football League. I think the 5-5 Broncos are better than most people think. And I think I could see them squeaking into the playoffs.
I could also see that. I think that they should not be 5-5 because they should not have lost on a blocked field goal, but they let that happen. That's probably why they are 5-5. But I definitely agree with the Broncos thing. I think Bo Nix is playing way better than people thought he would.
Yeah, and this is not an actual take. It's more of a fanship. But I would love to see Baker turn it around and be the 9-8 team that wins the NFC South division.
I agree with that. I love Baker. Huge fan of Baker. Word. All right. Rocky's reckless thoughts in the National Football League this week. I have 2 clips for you to get your hockey segment started. The first clip.
So when I look at when people are, you think he's going to break the record this year? Absolutely. Yes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He did look old, and I think he did a really good job in the offseason of getting himself back. So those are the goals right there, ladies and gentlemen. We got a comment, by the way, 12OZ Sports, our mothership. Gotta love an early morning sports show debate between brothers. Great, good stuff as well. 12OZ. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do when he's making reckless comments like that across the screen? There's nothing else I can do but debate him on that. Rocky, hockey with Rocky. Go ahead.
We had 7 people inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame yesterday. Natalie Adarowicz, Shea Weber, Pavel Datsuk, Colin Campbell, David Poyle, Chrissy Wendell, and Jeremy Roenick all make it into the Hockey Hall of Fame. We've got a future Hall of Famer actually right here.
There he is.
On the bottom left part of the screen.
Young hockey with Rocky right there.
Yeah, so a couple of good speeches last night. A lot of sound bites from the Jeremy Roenick one, but ultimately, always a great part of the beginning of the season where you find out who's going into the Hockey Hall of Fame. I think, for hockey guys growing up, you might not know like the women, and you may not even know like Colin Campbell and David Poyle. Colin Campbell and David Poyle get in as builders, right? David Poyle was a GM for a long time. Colin Campbell worked for the league. He was a coached the Rangers actually for a little bit while we were growing up. And then, Shea Weber, you'll remember the big trade, I want to say, from Nashville to Minnesota with Ryan Suter. There was a huge, huge deal. Pavel Datsuk, everyone knows, for the backhand toe, one hand around the goalie. And Jeremy Roenick. I mean, if you grew up watching hockey, you know who Jeremy Roenick is, and you watched him play. You watched him be physical. You watched him be the guy who checked someone in an All-Star game. You watched
We
him,
missed those
be
days.
eliminated. He was on Versus for a while. He got canceled from TV. He was a little, when everyone was
On edge.
back in the day when people were like, you can't say certain things, and like now, comparative to today, he'd be perfect for it.
He'd be perfect. Yeah.
When you look at the TNT broadcast, especially.
Yeah, that's a great point.
But yeah, so good class of guys. But yeah, Hockey Hall of Fame is in. And that's
Is there anyone
that was it.
Is there anyone you think should have been in? Anyone you disagree with?
No. The Hall of Fame induction stuff is it's not like baseball where everyone like has an opinion and this guy should be in and that guy should be in. Like
Okay.
and there's never been a year where I've looked, and Jeremy Roenick is 16 years. You got the little Grinch here. Jeremy Roenick, I mean, 16 years since his last game. So that one was a long time coming. Whereas Shea Weber, like retired within the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So I think what you're seeing there is kind of the difference in time period, but I don't think anyone's sitting here and saying Jeremy Roenick shouldn't have been in.
Right. No, I agree. And my last question before you go on here is, how do they do the Hockey Hall of Fame one? Because I know we have all the stupid writers in baseball, but a lot of people disagree with that too.
You know what? I don't even know the answer.
All right, well, let's do some research on that, because I would love to. Honestly, Rock, what I might do for next Tuesday's show, I might get the information on all 4 major sports leagues and just give everybody a breakdown on, because I do feel like my most knowledge is in baseball, and I disagree wholeheartedly with how baseball does their Hall of Fame voting. You say that most year in and year out, you agree with the guys getting put into the National Hockey League Hall of Fame. The football one, I've never really explored enough, nor have I explored the basketball one enough, but I might do a little bit of research on that for a Tuesday.
I do think it's fascinating that baseball has such a prevalent Hall of Fame induction process that everyone knows.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think it's because there's so much disagreement.
And that's just it's interesting. That's where baseball's weight is just so interesting in sports. Football takes the weight when it comes to marketing, revenue, most popular. Baseball's always been the pastime, but like when it comes to like if you're talking to me about sports betting and we're talking about like hockey, the first thing someone's thinking about is baseball.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. But Hall of Fame induction ceremony, first thing I think about, baseball. Right? So it's just baseball holds like just such an interesting weight in sports conversations that I think the Hall of Fame voting probably, kind of really highlights that.
It's almost like baseball has a weird history of holding weight in the weirdest scenarios. Oh, cheating the game? Major League Baseball.
Yeah, cheating in World Series?
Yeah. Major League Baseball. Oh, not changing your rules appropriately? Major League Baseball. Like terrible Hall of Fame, but Major League Baseball. That's wild. Like drug scam? Major League Baseball. It's like,
yes, I know.
That's wild.
I mean, and by the way, I mean, outside of cycling, baseball's got the biggest drug scandals ever.
Outside, yeah, it's right. It's like drug scandals in the history of time. Lance Armstrong, Major League Baseball.
Balco,
yeah. It's like that's a 3-headed monster right there.
Oh, you think that was funny there, buddy?
That is so funny. Oh, that is great. Yeah, but that's a good point though. Well, I'm gonna do some research on that. I got you on next Tuesday. See if I can get some insight. Anyone, obviously 12OZ Sports X or YouTube, if you got any comments for us on the Hall of Fame. Rock, continue.
On Sunday, Joey Logano takes home the NASCAR Cup Series title for the third time in his career.
Wow.
Way to go,
Joey.
Joey. Races if you don't know who that is, he races the 22 Pennzoil car. But
Yellow.
Joey Logano has been in the league for a while. I don't know if it's the league, it's the series.
Yeah,
But he's been in the league, he's been on the circuits, and he's been driving fast for a lot of years, and goes, one of the few who have won 3 Cup Series victories. A lot of buzz out of the NASCAR final because of the race in Martinsville the week before. I want to say it's 6 different racers and teams or people from the race leagues got fined for trying to manipulate the results of the race.
Wow.
Which is really okay. So what they're looking at is, right, there's teams, right? So there's race teams, and so like where there are race teams blocking guys or trying to spin guys out to get their guy to the front.
Right.
But then there's also and
that's illegal.
the
Can't
cars, but there's also the car dealers. So like, are the Ford drivers banding together, and are the
Sure.
Chevy drivers banding together?
That's wild.
And so there's like a whole look into these things, and like there's some precedents set. So the NASCAR finish was exciting, and it was fire. Everyone's fired up. Joey Logano is pretty popular. So,
All right.
but no short of controversy in
None.
the Cup Series either this year.
That's NASCAR every freaking year. Every year there's like a fight or a brawl or someone's pissed about something, and there's always controversy. That's probably why the people of fans of that sport love it so much.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
So controversy.
There, you've got your update. You got your Hockey Hall of Fame. I gave you my insight on the NFL. You've got the NASCAR update.
The last thing I have for you.
Yes.
I will be at a University of New Hampshire hockey game on Friday evening versus Northeastern. My first Division I hockey game. Are you
going to be in New Hampshire?
Probably.
That's top 10 famous NHL college hockey arenas.
I did not know that. So I will be trucking there Friday. Your thoughts?
Top 10. You should look at the top 10. You should Google top 10 college hockey arenas.
Okay.
That'll be one of them. And
okay. All right.
Yeah.
I was told that I had to tell you that before the show ended today to get your thoughts on that potentially happening.
Where's UNH rank? You know what? We should do it. I got to, what? Wow. I owe the people a college hockey segment.
Yeah, I agree. All right. We're coming back. We're coming back with a Hall of Fame segment, and we're coming back with a Hockey Hall of Fame segment. Rock, if you want, you could stay on for the picks today because they're all in the sport of NHL.
Oh, really? I'd love to do these.
So here's what we're doing. We're going to throw the sounder on. Wave your hand if you got anything to say or just chime in, okay? It's Daily Bananas. Oh, wait, hold on. I got to get my new sounder going.
Daily Fruits.
Nope, that's Rocky's goal horn.
Ba 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 na na ba 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 na 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 na
Wow.
That's how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. That is how it's done. All right, Daily Bananas. Last night, semi-decent day at best. I'm lying to everybody. It was atrocious. We were 0-4. That's because Tua Tagovailoa only threw 1 touchdown. Because the Dolphins' defense was great. Stafford threw 0 touchdowns. A-Chain held to under 60, and Kyron Williams held to under 70. So, unfortunately, it was just a defensive game. So we go 0-4. We're 141 and 115 all time. We're going to the National Hockey League today because it's hockey with Rockies, as you can see on the screen. Here we roll. The New York Rangers take on the Winnipeg Jets. The Winnipeg Jets have a 14-1 record, greatest start in National Hockey League history through 15 games. They take on the New York Rangers. I'm going to take the Rangers here on the money line. I just feel like it's one of those things. The Rangers are 7-3 in their last 10. The Jets are 9-1. Even though they have the best start in National Hockey League, they have lost in their last 7. And I'm going to take the odds on that one. Give me the Rangers. Both teams, have given up 2.2 goals per game over their last 10. So it's a dead heat. It's going to come down to 1 goal, in my opinion. And I'm going to feel this out for the Rockies here. And we're going to go with the New York Rangers. I'm going to take the Flames on the money line against the Canucks. The Canucks are 1, 2, and 3 wild at home. while the Flames are 3-2-3 on the road. So I would like to take the Flames on the money line at Vancouver, and then give me a Sam Reinhart point plus for the Florida Panthers, who are the second best team in the National Hockey League and have won 7 straight. So I got Reinhart with a point, I got Flames on the money line, and I got the New York Rangers on the money line for my ice picks. Rocky, do you agree?
I love those picks, actually. Big in on the Sam Reinhart, already with 11 goals, backing up his 50-goal performance from last year. I like the Flames. I'm interested to see why the Canucks aren't winning at home, but I like the Flames there. And I'm in on the Rangers. It's a prove-it game for the Rangers. If the Rangers don't have their best 5-on-5 effort of the year, I could see some pretty big changes coming from that club down the road here.
Yeah! Wow, what a time we just had on this show. All right. Rocky Romanella, thank you. Little Rocky Romanella, thank you. This has been the Rome Show here on 12ouncesports.com, YouTube, and X. We're back tomorrow, 7 a.m. Be electric today. Andrew Romanella saying peace.
Thank you for listening.